variety it is, but it is
Do not step on these zinnies.
Brings like you.
because I like to sit out here and get hot.
Hi, y'all.
Good morning.
Lovely.
Thank you.
When's the second tour start? I'll get one.
Those are the Chinese noodle beans.
For onion tops.
That's my first time growing those. They're super prolific. Like, yes, they're.
Good morning and welcome back to Grow Messy, the YouTube channel. I'm going to show a lot of footage of a garden tour that we just did. For those of you that don't know, I am the vice president of the Wise County Horticulture Club up in Decatur, Texas. We meet every third Thursday of the month at the fairgrounds in Decatur. So if you're local, come on out and join our group. We'd love to have you. The reason I want to start with that is because this whole video is based off of community. So you don't have to be a master gardener to join the horticulture club. You don't have to have a wealth of knowledge to join the horticulture club. You just have to be willing to learn and have that camaraderie and community and be there. Because at the end of the day, I think that's where we learn a lot of our knowledge is from other people. And what better way to learn more information, new information, than from your fellow peers that have the same interests as you. And that's gardening, and that's chickens, and that's hummingbirds, and that's, you know, your grass, your soil health, permaculture, growing vegetables, growing flowers, maybe market gardening, growing in greenhouses. I mean, the list goes on and on forever. And let me tell you, we have a lot of great speakers. We try to get a variety of different speakers to come in and give us the rundown on their knowledge and on one specific subject. That way we can take notes and we can apply that to what we're doing in our own garden. Or maybe we don't have a garden and maybe we want the inspiration to start a garden. And I think that's just a beautiful thing, and that's where it comes from. You come to this meeting and all of a sudden now you want a compost bin, because that's how it started for me. You want to do worm farming. You want to have a keyhole garden. I mean, it's inspiring when the people that get up there and they talk and you can just see the passion behind their words. And I think that's great. So that's why I wanted to start this video, because on Saturday, June 22nd, we had our first annual Grow Messy garden tour here at the farm. So we had about 16 people from the horticulture club show up, and that's a wonderful turnout because really I honestly did not think we would have that many people show up. So I'm thankful for that. Thank you for those who came and supported our garden and our farm. So 16 people. We had a variety of different things for sale, and honestly I probably could have pulled back on that a little bit, but it's just so important to me to be able to share things from my farm or about my farm with you. So I wanted to offer the most that I could. So basically we have all the people that show up and I get to walk them around and talk about my garden and show them all the things and what's growing and how it's growing and how it's not something I planted, it's a volunteer plant, and look how amazing it is. Like I still can't get over it. A lot of things I don't have labeled, like nothing. I don't have anything labeled. I was really bad about that this year, really bad. But that's okay. I have a basic knowledge of what it is. So probably something I need to work on, is getting more labels out here in the garden. Fun fact, when I was looking for a job right out of college, maybe, I've had 2 kids since then. I actually think it was when I was looking for an internship. I had a interview for a botanical garden, and honestly, I don't even remember where it is anymore. It might have been Weatherford. I was living in Stephenville at the time, and they wanted me to go around the garden grounds and create labels for all the plants, like metal labels for all of the plants, every type, every variety, everything. And I was like overwhelmed. I was like, I don't know all these plants yet. Like, how am I gonna label everything? Well, I think the Lord knew what he was doing when he didn't get me that internship, because that was a no-go for me. But later in life, and now that I have my own garden and my own things, I probably need to work on that. I probably need to get some labels going. And maybe I will. I don't know. You know, it's something I need to work on. Anyway, so I'm down here in the garden today. I'm going to show you some footage of our tour. I took some short videos, if you will, that I'm just going to sprinkle in here. Yeah. So this is going to be the unofficial Grow Messy garden tour remake, because it's going to be a live version mixed in with me telling you guys. So while I'm doing this garden tour, I am going to be putting out my own worm tea that we made 24 hours ago. So I bottled up this worm tea. This is our Grow Messy worm tea concentrate, 8 doll hairs, 16-ounce bottle. The ratio is 1 part concentrate tea to 10 parts water. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have a gallon sprayer. What's that gonna get me? And because this is 16 ounces, my husband was like, well, basically like more than half. And I'm like, no. So my recommended use is gonna be half of this bottle per 1 gallon of water to get the most bang for your buck, to get the most use out of this tea. So this would be a 2 application bottle. If you want more information on how we make our worm tea, I do have a video for YouTube on how to make worm tea. It's getting easier and easier the more I do it. It's not as complicated as you think. You're just adding 5 pounds of castings into your 5-gallon bucket. You give it a good stir because a lot of it's going to settle on the bottom. And then you want to take a scoop out of that water and you want to add 2 tablespoons of molasses. This is unsulfured molasses. Got it off of Amazon. It comes in a gallon jug. You can actually eat it. It's edible. Don't recommend. You might have a tummy ache. But add that to your little cup. Mix that up so it dissolves really well. Add that back into your 5-gallon bucket and pop an aerator in there. Just a fish tank bubbler is all, and I think I got that one off of Amazon as well. So it's really inexpensive to make this natural fertilizer. So what this is doing is this is adding all of your microorganisms back into the soil. It's a good foliar feed. It's natural fertilizer. Highly recommend getting you or making you some worm tea. After you have done all that and you put your aerator in for 24 hours, because it's got to go for 24 hours, you want to give it a good stir. And then what I do is I take like a pitcher and I pitcher some of it out and I strain it twice. So I strain it with a bigger strainer first, because a lot of the product material, sediment, thicker items, I don't know how you would word it. I'm not quite awake yet this morning. But anyway, that's all gonna settle in your bigger strainer. Dump that out into a separate bucket and then strain it again in a smaller strainer. And that'll get all of that grit out of there. That way you just have a liquid, and this liquid can easily go through a pump sprayer. That's the idea. You don't want your sprayer to keep getting clogged, because at that point you're going to get frustrated and you're not going to want to do the process that's so wonderful for your garden and your plants. So while I put this out today, we'll go through the garden and we'll chat about what is in my garden currently. Are you excited? I need coffee.
Johnny, tour start.
Tour is starting.
No.
It would have worked. Not unless I'm like trying to clean something out. Now, I do have a couple of chickens that will get in here. Maryland and one other one, I can't remember. And they'll just kind of meander and they'll eat stuff. Which I don't mind if there's a couple. But if I had them all in here, this would all be gone. Yeah. They would eat it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I
like that stool.
Like that bench came from the side of the road. That stool did.
You hide them in the FedEx truck when you're going down the road, or you come back?
I just throw it in the truck and I bring it back to the station and I put it in my car and I get home.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
this little table I just got recently last week was on the side of the road.
People will get rid of the darndest stuff.
Oh, I know. And then my brother and I built this bug house. So this is the bug house.
See, I want to put up mine.
2 posts were actually the original garden. So they went from here back to the chicken coop. That was it. So each year I've expanded. I went to that one, and then I went all the way to the gate that's on that side over there. So I expand a lot, and I figure eventually I'll expand again, but we'll see what my husband says. So we've got the raised beds, kind of sporadic, with our arched trellis, and I have Chinese noodle bean growing on this side. I have cucumbers growing on this side, and then I've got the zinnias on both sides, and I'm trying to get some loofah to grow. This is the 3-bin compost pile that Marty did a presentation on. That's what started that whole thing.
Oh,
I was
okay.
inspired, and so I built it.
Right.
And I hadn't really got too much into it, but the chickens get in there and they'll scratch it up for me and mix it up, and it kind of works.
Well, that's good.
The squash that's growing out of there was completely volunteer. I have no idea what it is. It's covered in squash bugs, but it provides shade for my chickens, so I don't hate it. And it's kind of a trap crop for other plants. And the 2 T-posts are holding up, I think, 2 of the tomato plants. I'm not entirely sure if there's 2 or 3 right here in this corner, but they're completely volunteer, and I have no idea what kind they are. But they are completely covered in tomatoes.
It might be a Roma.
So what's that other
Yeah.
one that's like a Roma?
Sonoma.
Not the
No, Juliet.
None of them have turned red yet,
Oh, those are.
so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Aaron's excited. He thinks it might
So-
be Juliet.
Did you?
The number of plants that you have in just in a tight area, and I heard
I made all that worm tea. I've got a ton of it. You can, but it takes maintenance. So I would use it within a couple weeks. Use it once a week. And then if you want it to last longer, leave the lid off and add a pinch of sugar to it every now and then. Yeah, because it feeds those microorganisms. But if it goes anaerobic, then it's... I mean, I would still put it out. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to use it. But, hi, y'all. Good morning. About damn time. Hey, right?
But they don't
Yeah,
have
my
the
gosh.
motivation of seeing a chicken rod Hey, on sales the girl. other side.
There you go. We're getting some.
Well, yeah.
I'm coming, I'm coming.
Did they go into the shed for
We don't
them?
need no receipt.
Yeah.
You need eggs. No, we're gonna get stuff. Don't worry.
They got plastic. So what?
Are they eating the beans that she had in the? Yes, I think so.
Yep.
This is bigger.
on the inside, is it really?
Yeah, look, here, I'll show you. Come here. I'll show you. So that one, it's just kind of squashy.
Yeah, those are. I like the red, white, and blue.
They sold out so fast.
That's pretty cool. Are you gonna make more of those, or?
I will probably make more of the red, white, and blue.
Okay.
Probably in our new logo. We got a different one. So we're going to keep this logo, and then I have another one with the chicken.
I love
This
the
one?
chicken.
Yeah.
One way you can keep your
chickens entertained. You get this like spear thing and it hooks on a chain and you can just hang it from like the chicken coop and they'll just go to town on this. These are apples, but you could use anything, any kind of thing you can spear. All right, yesterday we started at the other end when I did the garden tour, but that's only because I was given the history. I'm gonna go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. I'm gonna clean this out because this had fish emulsion in it before. It's only 2 fertilizers that I use are fish emulsion and worm tea, and that is it. So we're gonna test our own recommended use by adding half of the 16-ounce bottle into a gallon of water. We're gonna see what it does. We're testing the product. Okay, my advice with using a sprayer of any kind, for that matter, is to add water in it first. That way the product you have doesn't stick to the bottom. All right, get you lowered here. Okay, we've got my gallon. Ideally, you would want rainwater, but I don't have any. I'm gonna fill this up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna take my Grow Messy worm tea. Give it a little. Okay. It is gonna be pressurized. Add about half of it into my gallon. The lid back on loosely because you want the oxygen in there. Fill her up to a gallon, and that's kind of the color you're going for. A little on the diluted side, but you want to get the most for your money. Put that lid back on. Pressurize your sprayer. Now this is a good foliar feed, as I said. And you also want to spray it at the soil. There you go. All right, we got a lot of garden to spray. Going. This end of the garden, we actually added on. This is our last addition. And I feel like every year we add more and more and more. And I'm here for it. I'm just going to add this worm tea as far as it'll go. We're going to spray it on the leaves. This is over here is zucchini. I also have an iris that one of the ladies from the horticulture club gave me. Leslie, thank you. Go Frisian Stables. She's got massive horses on her property and it's just incredible. I haven't been in person yet, but I have seen photos and I'm excited to go. So hopefully that'll come soon. Maybe I can do a little video on that if she'll let me. So this will not burn your plants. This is not a high nitrogen. This is the best feed you can give your plants. Got some squash bugs over here. I'm gonna get out my bowl of death. You want to spray this early in the morning. You don't want that water concentrate sitting on the leaves and burning up your plants. As far as like the sun and water goes, you want it to have enough time to absorb. So I have 2 zucchini. I've got some beans. I've got 2 muscadine grapes. And I have some squash. Zucchini, or not zucchini. Well, I have zucchini, but spaghetti squash. Couldn't think of the name. In this raised bed over here, I have black eyed peas, which used to be my potatoes. But since I've already harvested the potatoes, I wanted something in the bed. So black eyed peas it is. Because black eyed peas, even though I may not eat them all, I do eat some. I don't mind them. I just probably need to learn how to cook them better. They grow really fast here in Texas and really easy. Again, with the gardener confidence, grow what you know. Grow what you know you can grow, because that's where your gardener confidence comes into play. I know I can grow onions, so I grow them every year, even though I don't like onions. Although I will say a homegrown onion tastes so much different than a store-bought onion. While I'm going around and looking at everything, I'm noticing that I've got a squash bug invasion. Okay, so I have this thing called, what I like to call, bowl of death. And I find the squash bugs. And I'm not keen on picking them up, but that's okay. And this is just Dawn Power Wash. A homemade Dawn Power Wash. And I'm just throwing my squash bugs in it, because that's what's going to kill them. We have so many squash bugs this year. So they like to lay their eggs under the leaves. You got to be careful. All right, that's all I'm going to do for today. I put 1.5 bottles of worm tea out. And then I pulled all my garlic. It's all out. And I amended the bed with worm tea and azomite. And the azomite I got from Mindful Farmer, Arkansas, Sean. Great guy, tons of knowledge. Highly recommend. I threw in some of my marigolds that I had started from seed and soil blocks. So those are now in. And then I think my initial plan was to put sunflowers in that bed. But I need to go through my seeds and see what I have, and maybe I can get another crop out. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. It's a lovely garden morning after a long weekend. And thank you for being here and watching my little YouTube channel. You know, I really appreciate you guys being here. I love your comments, even the mean ones. They make for a good laugh. Anyway, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're not already following words, go over to Instagram and follow us at Grow Messy. We post a lot of like real-time stuff over there, and life stuff and Jesus stuff and all the things. So yeah, anyway, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Let's get a freeze frame. We haven't done a freeze frame in a while. How about some cukes? Even though cukes aren't on the menu today. Freeze frame. Okay. I don't even know if that'll work anymore because I'm editing on my phone now instead of the computer, but hope you got a good laugh. See you next time.